Thank you. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Free Mumia.
Free all political prisoners.
Free all political prisoners.
Thank you everyone for having me. My name is Vanessa Aldrich. I represent the mobilization to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. I cannot think of a better occasion than Mumia's 58th birthday to celebrate and to all of us to gather in the name of ending mass incarceration of our nation's most oppressed communities. So thank you everyone for devoting your time and coming today. I just have a few thoughts and a few updates from the mobilization. The American justice system has in its dungeon some 3 million people, the overwhelming majority of which come from the nation's most oppressed communities. Despite whatever lies the ruling class tells us, this is absolutely by design. The criminal justice system in the case of Mumia Abu-Jamal has kept another innocent black man in prison for more than 30 years, the majority of which was spent on death row, which as we know in this nation is another kind of solitary confinement. He is accused of murdering a white Philadelphia police officer, and because of this he is now serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And just a few hours ago, activists from all over the Washington, D.C. area gathered at the steps of the Department of Justice alongside prominent social justice activist Angela Davis and actor Danny Glover, risking their safety and personal freedom in the name of Mumia's cause. We stand here today in solidarity with them, with Mumia, and with the many thousands around the world, many millions around the world, who want to see an end to mass incarceration of the world's poor. For 30 years, the Pennsylvania courts got away with spreading lies about the Mumia case, claiming that it was, quote, a fair trial and that the decision of the jury was sound. And this is, of course, excluding the fact that one of the judges on Mumia's case went on record in front of a court stenographer and said, quote, I'm going to make sure that we fry this N-word. Can you fucking believe that? Actually, we can believe it, right? The truth about Pennsylvania's racist criminal court system is that it has quite simply been afraid to view evidence that so clearly points to his innocence and that he's been framed up as a political prisoner. Afraid to let this world-class activist return to the movement that so desperately needs him back. Afraid that the facts of Mumia's case and the sheer outrage of the people will only expose them as the greedy, racist, pig bastards that they really are. I don't know if a lot of you have been following with his case, but those among us in the community that have been able to meet with him and talk with him over the phone since he's been released to the general population from death row, what the remarkable thing about Mumia is his spirit, right? He was an activist before he was in prison. He was an activist ever since the age of 14, 15 when he was involved with the Black Panther Party. And everyone that meets with him says it's as if he's not been in prison for 30 years. And he's gone on record and he's said that I was no more locked up when I was walking the streets of Philadelphia than I am sitting on death row. And I think that's something that we can all take our cues from. And there's a quote that comes to mind from one of my favorite revolutionaries and one of my favorite freedom fighters, and her name is Harriet Tubman, and she said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I would have freed 1,000 more had they known that they were slaves. And I think that's fitting today because it shows us that Mumia's case is why demonstrations like this are so important. In the words of Mumia Abu-Jamal, it's time to wake up. So let us be absolutely clear. The system is rotten to its core. And the struggle to defeat it can only be won when the people wake up, when they realize that they've been deceived, and when they demand an end to it all now. May this awakening happen anywhere and everywhere. May it take place in the heart of every human soul, and may it begin today. I call for an end to mass incarceration, an end to the prison industrial complex, an end to the imperialist wars abroad. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal, free all political prisoners. Long live Trayvon Martin and Troy Davis, and long live the revolution. Thank you.